Myself, Dr. Sunil Kumar from Sir JC Bose Technical Campus, Coimbatore University, Nainital. Today I will take up one session on event handling and its applications. So before we go to the session, our aim is to make you acquainted with the concepts of event handling in Java and know various application of event handling in Java. So before we go exactly what is event handling, let's take up some few basic concepts. First is interface. So interface, using interface we specify what class must do, not how to do it. So this is similar to class, but this lacks instance variable and its methods. So interface is defined with keyword interface. So general format for interface is access interface name. We have to declare the methods, then give the name, parameter list, etc. We have two types of access. One is public, other is default. Public means interface may be used anywhere in a program. Default, interface may be used in the current package only. So interface method have no bodies. They end up with the semicolon after the parameter list. And essentially they are abstract methods. An interface may include variables, but they must be final, static, initialized with constant value. For public interface, all members are implicitly public by default. They are public. Now, how to implement interface? A class which implements an interface if it provides a complete set of methods defined by interface. So one, we can have n number of classes that may implement an interface. One class may implement any number of interfaces. So we can say this is basically multiple inheritance here, and you can say here one interface, multiple faces are there. Now, so each class is free to determine the details of implementation, and this relation is written with the implement keyword. How to declare of the callback interface keyword is there, callback. Then client class implements the callback interface. This implement keywords is used to implement. Now next concept is event. What is event? Event is an action initiated by user interacting with the program. They may be keyboard events like pressing a key, holding a key, releasing a key. Mouse events like moving the mouse, clicking the mouse. GUI like clicking on button, resizing window, closing, opening window. So basically event in Java is an object of particular event class which may represent some user action to which GUI might respond. So we have types of events are high level events. High level events are those involve one or more low level events. And high level events may be action events like action event class, adjustment event like scrolling motions. They may invoke adjustment event class. Item event when user select checkbox, choices, radio buttons, list items, item state has changed. It may invoke item event class. Text event means which represent text component content value change. This will invoke text event class. Now how do these low and high level work in Java? Whenever user click the mouse, it releases, there are 3 separate low level mouse events. One for mouse down, one for mouse up, possibly one for mouse drag in case mouse is being dragged while button is pressed. And here this will fire high level event only action event. Action event means when event is occurred, then this class is being called up. Now, event hierarchy. Events are organized into hierarchy of event classes. They are relevant to each other in particular event type. Event is an object of one of the event classes. So this is the hierarchy of the event classes in Java. Now next concept is event sources. So type of event depends on the source from where it is been generated. So the different event sources are keyboard, the mouse, it may be a GUI component like button, text field, window. So event source is an object with ability to determine when event has occurred. So in event driven programming, events, what does the event do? Event drives the execution of program. When code is executed, events are activated. And program interact with the user, generate events based on the external user action. And these external actions are supplied by user. So Java graphical programming and visual basic programming are event driven. And these events in Java, we have to import the events package java.awt.event.asterisk. Now, for managing handling the events in Java, Java uses event delegation model. This is a standard mechanism, and here Java uses event listener. Whenever the event is being generated and there it is being received by listener, every listener must register with the event and event handler to respond the event. And use of event listener in event handling is called delegation event model. So here external user action on a source object like event source activates, initiate an event, and event listener object receive that event, and this object is instance of the class which implement event listener interface. So example, event action event correspond to action listener. Action event means when event is being occurred. So event source, what it does, it maintains list of containing all the listener object which are being registered with the events. Whenever the event is being generated, they are being notified of the event of that type. So here event source of event listener involves invoking method to the on the list listener object, like method action perform action event E. E is the name of event. Event listener interface declare one or more method which must be defined in the listener class, which are invoked by event source in response with each specific event type handled by interface. So we have to declare method action performed action event E. So if you look at this diagram, user action, source object, register, listener, this diagram is what we have already been discussed on the above slide. So event object, listener event, event handler, here user generate, activate or initiate action, and from this from some source object, and listener event listener are registered with the source. Hence they will get, this is, they are basically of object event object type, and here they are used to notify the action whenever they respond to the some event. Now this is one example for the event listener. So Java standard class library contains several classes which represent typical events like component such as applet, buttons, they generate fire event when it occurs. Object, we call it listener, event listener, they wait for event to occur. What it does, listener object is instance of a class which implements specific listener interface. So number of listener interfaces are predefined, and each interface declare appropriate method for specific class of event. Now look at this event listener diagram. Component and listener are there. Object maybe generate an event, and listener is ready to receive that event notification as it is registered with the event, and in lieu of that it will do some sort of action. Each event is represented by object which gives information about the event and identify event source from where it is generated, and event source which have multiple listener registered on it, and single listener can register with multiple the event sources. So we can use number of event sources with one single listener, event listener. So event listener is must be registered with the events, so that the occurrence of all events notification. So as soon as this event has been occurred, they will call some automatically invoke the matching method in the listener object. Create listener object by writing class that implement particular listener interface. Whenever we have to declare listener interface, we have to give listener interface. Java standard library contains several interfaces which correspond to particular event categories. When listener is being created, we have to add this listener to the component so that there may be action might be added to the event. How to process event in Java? We have to register event listener, listen for every generated GUI component events, components, and object of class from package java.aw.event, and this will implement a. Then thereafter, second step is how to implement an event handler. We have method is automatically called in response to particular type of event. This is a response generated by action listener over there. Now, for each event class, there is a corresponding listener interface device defined in the Java, and methods and corresponding listener methods. For event class, we used to declare using action event. Listener is action listener, and the listener method handler is action performed, action event E means event. So these are the different activities over there for the processing event in Java. Now let's take one example. AW event listener. We have different abstract window toolkit event listener are action listener, adjustment listener, focus listener, item listener, key listener, mouse motion listener, mouse wheel listener, window listener, window focus listener, window state listener. So these are different AWT event listener for the various type of events we have taken up in the earlier. Now, how to implement event handler in Java? So we have to declare for the event handler, we have to specify class which implement listener interface or extend a class like public class, my class, implement action listener, or we have to code the register an instance of the event handler class and a listener upon one or more components like some component dot add action listener instance of my class. Then we have to code the implement method of the listener interface public with the action performed action event e. Now we have different uh, type of event sources are button, which are generate events like checkbox, choice, list, menu item, scroll bar, text component, windows, buttons. When we click some button, it will generate some action event. Checkbox, when we select some check box or deselect it. Choice, when there is a choice are there, when choice changes, choice is being changed, this will also create some event. List, when we click on the item, it will generate list of items. Menu item, menu, it will generate checkable menus, whether when it is selected or when they are deselected. So it will generate event. Scroll bar, when adjustment means we will scroll the mouse up and down, left to right, etc. Text component, when we user enter some sort of text characters in text field, it will also generate some event. Window, when window is activated, closed, deactivated, actified, opened, quit. So there are different sort of activities which will generate events. Now let us take one example of action listener example here. So we'll give the library, Java library, import Java EW to event because we are doing event handling, and here action listener example is there. Now we have to reserve a space for button by declaring it some new. Click here. So here, welcome to Java tutorial. This will list, and we click here. This will, when we write this will display, means this will generate some event. Next is action event. As we have discussed in the earlier, action event, when action is being occurred, event has been occurred, then we use action event. Here we will create frame, we will declare the frame, we have to implement the interface here, action listener here. Then here we have declared the Java library. Then new button, we have declared the new button here. Then click me, button named is click me. Here we have to register the listener. Then we have to add. Then button example. Now how do button works as an event? So again, declaring the Java library will declare one instance of the frame, say button example, by declaring it new. Then we have to give some text field. Then click here. We have created one button. Click here means this will initiate one sort of action. This will create one sort of event over there. So this will text is welcome to UOU. Next is checkbox group example. Checkbox, again we will extend one frame over there, and we will display list of some checkboxes like for C++, Java. We have taken one example. Then we will add some checkboxes to this one list over there. Checkbox 1, checkbox 2. Now here we will get output like C++, Java, and they are checkable. Whenever we initiate, whenever we select it, it will initiate one sort of event over there. Next is choice example. Now another case is we will declare new frame over there, then we declare the name, labels over there, label center, alignment center, then we have taken button show, then we add different type of languages, C++, C, Java, C, Android, and we will register the event also there. New action listener, programming. Whenever we select some name of the language from the choice, it will display the name of the file, name of the choice, then it will say programming language selected along with the name of the programming languages. Then next is dialog box. How to create dialog box? Again we reserve some space for frame and we'll title it dialog frame, and the default flow is flow layout, and we give the button, we create the button named as OK. Then we have to reserve the space for the action listener, and here we click button to continue. OK. So this is dialog box, means this is creating a sort of messaging over there. Next is text field example. Here we will implement the action listener interface and we will extend one frame also, and we will take up or reserve some space for text field. Then we have taken TF1, TF2, then here plus minus. Plus minus means there are two boxes are there. If you look at this, there are two text boxes are there. If we do plus, it will add those content, it will concatenate those text. If we do minus, it will subtract those text and display in third text box. Now next is window listener example. In this case we will see how this listener works, and we will take up the one example of how this window is. Whenever you press minimize, it will notify you window is minimized. If you close it, it will notify window is closed. Or when you press maximize, it will notify you window is maximized. So looking at this example, here we'll give you we'll have a extend frame, as then we will have window listener interface, and then selecting the method, we have to display the visibility and the layout of the frame also. Then what we done, when we look at for the window is activated, we have to give some messaging over the system out print line. When you press window is activated, whenever you run this program, window is activated. Then we have window is closed. When you press cross, then close button, then it will display the event, it will initiate the event, window is closed, and it will notify you. In the same way, it will notify you window is closing. Then window is deactivated. When you close, it will give you a message if it is not active, right? Then next case is menu example. Same menu example we have taken up. This is one of the event is been, there is a menu are there, sub menu item are there. You select one of them, this will also initiate one of the event over there. So same example we have already been taken up. in the menu case here. So in menu items, what we do here, we reserve space for menu items, item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, item 5, and here we add those with the menu. Since menu item is the sub item over there, it's a subclass. Menu is the subclass of the menu items here, and here I1, I2, I3, I5, I are of the menu item, and here we'll display the layout. If you press the menu, it will display item 1, item 2, item 3, and in item 4 there is a sub menus also there, because we have added up sub menu over there. Now next is key listener interface is there. Now after importing the Java library over there, we'll extend the frame same as above and implement the key listener interface. And here we will set the location of the label, then we'll create the text area, then we have to declare the key listener to text area, then label and text area to the frame, then visibility, then we will override the features. This will key listener, this text area will take up the text and text split. It will does the text splitting, and then it will display you the word length, total number of words, characters. Whatever you enter in the text box, output will be, when you generate an event, it will give you the total number of words, word length and characters. Next case is of the list example. Here we have taken the number of countries and we have number of name of the oceans here. So after importing the Java library files, we have created the label, reserved the space for label, then alignment is left, then we have created button for the labeled as show, and we have to add some countries to the list items like Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe, Australia. Then in the next we have to add the items, we have to add the name of the ocean, Arctic, Southern, Indian, Atlantic, Pacific. So what we do, whenever we select two, say Africa or Arctica, so it will display you we have to basically give the correct match, and whenever you give the correct match, country as well as the ocean, and it will display you the name of the country as well as the name of the ocean. So this what it does, it will select these two and give the output. So here user will get to know the basic concept of the event handling, how event handling works in Java. Now and then thereafter learner will able to create different events in Java. Thank you.